The first boss in the Ring City DLC is a two-parter. I'll be covering both parts of the fight in this video. There'll be a link in the description that will take you to the second part of the fight if that's what you're struggling with. The first part to this boss fight is pretty simple once you know how to tackle it. It can seem quite intimidating at first since there are two massive enemies trying to steal all of your souls, but once you realise it's actually very easy to separate them, this part's a breeze. So when the fight starts, you'll be facing the demon from below. He's the one that's on fire. The other demon is the demon in pain. He'll be further away and won't be on fire. While at a distance, the only move that's a threat to you is a line of purple mist that will explode, dealing a lot of damage, but it's quite easy to avoid if you see it coming since it's slow and has an audio cue when he's using it. When the fight begins, approach the demon from below and immediately run in between his legs. This is the best place to fight these enemies since most of their attacks can't hit you while you're there, and the attacks that can have very noticeable audio and visual cues. This also allows you to open them up for a visceral attack. If you do enough damage to the body or head in the right amount of time, they'll put their head down, allowing you to go in front of them, press R1 and get a lot of free damage out. You will want to do the majority of this fight unlocked so you can see when the purple mist is coming for you and your camera isn't freaking out for half the fight. After a while, the demons will begin switching between the aggressive fire phase and the more passive poison phase. This is accompanied by an audio cue. When one's on fire and the other one's using ranged poison, run away so the one on fire will chase you and give you a lot of space away from the other demons since they're much slower when they're not on fire. When you have distance, it'll make the purple mist a lot easier to dodge and you won't have to deal with a different move that he has, which is a much closer range purple mist that actually does poison damage. It doesn't deal much normal damage, but poison is annoying as fuck. You also won't have to worry about the other demon's melee attack just coming through the other one's body at random so you just can't see it coming. Eventually they'll both go on fire. This is when you should just turtle up and defend. Keep space in between you and them and don't get caught. This is extremely easy to do, just hold your shield up and roll away if they get close to you, but if they do catch you they can do a lot of damage. So make sure you keep the space in between you and don't get hit. After a while, one of them will do a slam attack, creating a fire explosion and tiring out, allowing you to get some free damage. If the other one's not nearby, I suggest doing so. But if the other one's close, just back away, gain some distance between them. You don't want to fight these two enemies when they're together because their attacks can just clip through each other and you'll never see them coming. If they both lose their fire and they're separate, this is the best time to damage one of them. Just stay in between the legs and chop away, since in this form they can do even less to you when you're in that position, and if they're together I would suggest waiting for one of them to transform so they can't get you with any nasty surprise attack. Just rinse and repeat until one of them's dead and the other will immediately set itself on fire. I don't believe it will go back to its poison form after this, but don't quote me on that. Nevertheless, stay in between the legs and it will eventually go down. The demon you killed last will then transform into the demon prince. This form is a lot more aggressive and will attack more often. He also has more answers to the strategy of crotch chopping, but I still think this is the best way to fight him. He has a few combos that can be dealt with a few well-timed rolls, and a fireball that he'll throw out after jumping into the air. To dodge this, I suggest sprinting at him when you see he's charging up for the attack, as if you're under him when he throws the fireball, it will always miss you. He'll also periodically jump, creating a gust of wind that does no damage but will knock you down, making space. If he creates two fireballs just before doing this, then you're in trouble, since this is his most threatening attack. The fireballs he creates shoot multiple little fireballs that will shoot at you and around the arena. These don't do too much damage, but they are obnoxious. When you're trying to concentrate on the boss, they're hard to dodge. So after placing the two fireballs and jumping away doing the gust attack, he'll start spewing fire into the air. After a few seconds, he will unleash a torrent of meteors from the air. The only way I found to deal with this was to stop him from doing it. When he's charging up the attack, if you hit him a few times, he'll stop. You can then run away and the meteors will just shoot straight into the ground around him. The two fireball spawners will also be shooting at you at this time, so try periodically dodging to avoid this. But I know from experience, that's easier said than done. If you don't stop him, they'll shoot towards you, and when they hit, they do a ton of damage. You might be able to run to the sides to avoid this attack, but I couldn't get it to work. I don't think this attack is very fair, and if anybody in the comments has a better way of dealing with this, then let me know. The other move that you can do after the gust of wind jump is a slow laser beam that will leave a trail of fire in a zigzag. If you avoid the initial gust of wind, this is a great opportunity to damage the boss, as he will keep doing the laser even when you're hitting it. But when he stops, retreat, because he'll do a small AoE attack with a straightforward laser just after he does the zigzag one. If the gust of wind hits you, still try to get up to him for some free damage because this is the best time to get it. He also has a move where he throws 3 fireballs on the ground that stick to the floor and will explode after a few seconds. Just stay away from this attack and you should be fine. His hardest attack to dodge is when he jumps up into the air with both hands raised above his head and they're on fire. This means he's going in for a slam. Dodge towards him just before the attack hits and you'll be right up against his head, allowing you to do some damage and possibly get a visceral attack out of it. I almost forgot, one other reason you want to stay under or behind him is that his forward slam attacks are followed by a stream of fire that deals a lot of damage. And the rest is up to you. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I've got Dark Souls content coming out daily. Check out the videos that should be on screen now. But for now, people, peace!